Welcome once again here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. My name is Paul County, president and founder of Regional Radio Sports. Great to be with you here at the Championship Plaza, sponsored by First Source Bank. We welcome you here to the Y-Camp Athletic Center. My name is Paul County, and again, we have Jason Lewkowicz here today, athletic director extraordinaire here at Bethel University. Show number 2. And I know that feedback was good from the first go-around. Now that you've settled, got one show underneath your belt, feel a little bit more relaxed and loose here today?
We're ready to go. Ready to go. Yeah.
All right. Special guest today. It's Jason Squared, ladies and gentlemen, today. Jason Freeman, National Championship women's soccer coach, is here today. Talk about his team's amazing championship run. And what an amazing run for that group of gals, Coach.
Yeah, fantastic. They've been fun to watch all season long. Can't wait to hear some specifics about that coming up.
Well, one thing we want to start with, and pay honor to some of the other athletics going on here right now currently on campus. We're in the middle. This will be our final show of the calendar year of 25, but there's been some amazing accomplishments by athletes here on the Mishawaka campus. So let's kind of just give us a flyover review of what's happening here with Bethel University Athletics.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic fall. As you know, my first semester here, and they've really spoiled me as an athletic director. Obviously, this is our second national championship of the fall to go with women's golf. Men's soccer had a fantastic season, as high as number 3 national ranking, Crossroads League, regular season and tournament champion, and made it to the round of 16 at the NAIA National Tournament. So tremendous season for Coach Pinto and his group. And then across the board, women's swimming's ranked 10th in the country right now. We had Anna Enderle from women's cross country qualify for the national championships, NAIA National Championships, where she finished in the top 100, which was a great accomplishment for her. And our women's volleyball team, strong season, which concluded at the NCCAA tournament last week as well.
You know, one thing we always have to pay honor to those teams that you get a chance to compete against. So congratulations goes out to Grace. Mm-hmm. They won the women's volleyball championship for the third consecutive year. And how about Indiana Wesleyan winning their third consecutive NAIA women's volleyball championship? Candace Mose has done an amazing job. So kudos to those other Crossroads League teams who are having great success. It's always great when you're part of the best conference in America to honor those who help you win and help you compete and get your athletes in a really special position.
Absolutely. I've said it before and I've said it again, this is the best conference pound for pound in the NAIA, and there are no easy outs in any sport. So to get a win in our league is quite the accomplishment. So we're excited for our conference representation this fall and to be a part of that.
I know when you did your homework here, coming into this situation, coming into this job, you're looking at some of those things. You know, what's this Bethel University all about? What's this about? You really don't recognize until you're right here and you listen to your coaches and hear all those battle cries and you hear all those things that are going on about how tough it is in this league. And now that you've been through it a few weeks, or in this case a couple months now, it really is kind of an eye-opening experience how great this is. And I know there's all kinds of controversy going on right now because of college football, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And you can make all the arguments you want. But the reality of it is when you're part of the best league in the country, it is going to make you or is going to break you. And so are you surprised on really how great it is now that you've had a chance to see and hear and talk to some of the other coaches in the league as well as the other athletic directors? I think Larry DeCimpollero has done a marvelous job as the commissioner of this league. I think he's one of the best guys as far as administrators in education-based athletics in the country. So what's your take on that now that you're into it a couple months?
Yeah, well, I agree. Larry's done a fantastic job. He's been a great resource for me. But I think I knew looking from the outside in, I knew how strong the Crossroads was as a conference. But being here in it, and Coach can attest to this, like every single league game is a battle. And someone may be at the bottom of the league standings, and there you can't sleep on that team because they'll come in and they'll have this game circled. They'll have Bethel circled on their calendar and try to get a win. And so that's the approach that I think we all try to take is you can't take anyone for granted no matter what kind of season they're having, because at some point every team in our league has some history of success in pretty much every sport. So you have to really bring your A game every time out. And if you don't, you're in for a long night.
Yeah, no question. Jason Freeman has won his second national championship. He's here with us today. We're going to have a conversation with him. Jason, first of all, congratulations on the national championship #2. And what a going-away present for your senior class. Let's start there, because that group of gals, 5 of the 6 seniors that you have won 2 national championships. There's not a lot of student athletes who can go through a college athletics career and win 1 championship, let alone 2. So let's give honor to those young ladies who have brought 2 of those nice-looking trophies, by the way. Thanks for bringing that and showing that one off today.
Yeah, of course, Paul. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here. Yeah, what a testament to the seniors and the work they've put in over the last few years. Just to watch them go from, some are even grad students. Grace Beck's been here for 6 years now, and she used the COVID year, medical year, and just to watch that group work so hard over the last few years and accomplish what they've accomplished on the field has been fun. I think even more so off the field, just watching them grow as people. Ultimately as coaches, we're after the hearts of our players, and we just want them to grow as people and to know the Lord and to do great things when they leave. And this is a short pit stop on their way, but just in their time here, in that short window, it's been fun to watch. Grace Beck, obviously 6th year. She's been a leader spiritually for the team. She's been a leader on the field. She's been a leader, just in the locker room, off the field, mentoring younger players. And when we were sitting down in the office and she was walking through, hey, am I going to do a 6th year? Am I going to get a master's? What am I going to do there? Part of her heart for coming back was to mentor the younger players. And she said, I just feel like my ministry is not done here. So for me, that's huge as a coach, setting the culture, setting the environment of the program. And she has been a part of building that as we have gone along over the last few years. Lena Thomas has been great. Obviously, she's led the way in scoring this year. She's a dominant player, and I think she still has a future in the game. Similar to Carly Harfouche, I think she's been a leader at the back for us, dominating with our defensive line. We got to the national tournament and really felt like we have one of the best back lines in the country, and we're going to get 3 out of 4 of those back for another go-around next year and continue to build. Carly Harfouche is going to be a tough player to replace. Obviously, big shoes to fill, but it's going to be a different person, somebody who's going to walk in new shoes and step into that role. Aubrey Vervinkt, a local player, as well as Lena. They've been really growing, and Aubrey has scored a ton of goals this year, and she really came on strong and put all of her chances away in the national tournament. And it's fun to see us playing our best soccer at the end there over the last week. And looking at Ada came in and transferred from a junior college. She's really upped her game over the course of the last year. I think she saw scattered minutes, and then her minutes grew as she went into her senior year. So even in that short window of a 2-year cycle, she's come in and she's seen some tremendous growth, and she's really worked hard on and off the field. And then Megan, obviously, was on the championship team in 2023, but she was behind another goalkeeper, and so she saw it from 2 different perspectives where, one, she was kind of riding the bench and earning her time and growing and developing behind the scenes, but it's important that you do the work when you're not in the spotlight and that you do the work when it's not necessarily your number that's called. But she stepped up to the plate and really played her best soccer and was tremendous in the goal for us the entire tournament and really the entire season she had this year. And she was in competition there with Lauren Gatewood, and Lauren Gatewood saw some minutes in the tournament as well. So, for me, that's just a luxury as a coach to have 2 goalkeepers who can play at a high level, who I can put in, and I can trust both of them, and so they both stepped up and did very well.
I know I'm really biased in this because Megan Keeble interned for us this fall at Regional Radio Sports. So we had conversations throughout the course of the last calendar year as she interacted with us. She's been with our office. I know that all the guys and gals at our office absolutely love her. She's a great teammate, and that word "great teammate" gets bounced around a lot. But I tell you what, there are kids that you just need, and I've got one of them with me here today in Tanner Cabe, who's just one of the greatest teammates I've ever had in my 5 decades of doing this gig. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have great teammates, and I'm using Megan as an example because she was a great teammate for us, when you have those kind of kids in your program, those are program kids. Those are kids that define really who you are, because you're going to have those great goal scorers. You're going to have those great, whatever sport it is, you're going to have those great athletes who make those differences. So here we are in Championship Plaza. It's loaded with all kinds of greatness. but there's a lot of times we don't necessarily recognize great teammates. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Megan because she's just been a great teammate for me. And I'm thankful that God brought her into our family, and I'm excited. So I just wanted to go off on that tangent because I know how special she was for me. Coach, when you look at the winning the championship and walking away with the second time, what was different than the first time when you walked off the field and you say to yourself, okay, we've done it. We've won it all. What was the first thought and emotion that you kind of had go over you?
I think when we were writing out objectives for how do we want to play in the final, and I think maybe different from the first time around, we won all of our games 1-0 in that first tournament in 23, and so they were all tight games, and we had to battle for everything. This time we really came out and dominated games, I think, from the start. And there was a big difference that our bench brought this year. Players 12 through 22. If you look back at the stats there, this year we played, 21 or 22 players in every single national tournament game. That was our advantage. That was the thing that other teams down there did not have. They did not have 22 players who could come in and represent the program on the field at that caliber and that level. And so it was fun to see everybody play. So that was one objective that we had is, can we get everybody minutes? Can we get everybody on the field? And can we have this whole group do it together and win together? It allowed us to push through 4 games in a week, and it gave us the legs we needed to do it. But the other piece is, I think we were looking at, can we get our seniors off at the end? Can we get a curtain call? And I think the group, just came out flying. We scored early goals in almost every game. We came out and we got to the place where, we've got this game. It's, you never want to commit to that too early, but just to be able to get those seniors off and kind of give them one more round of applause. I think that was, for me, the most emotional part of the whole tournament is to watch them come off and realize, hey, you guys have done a great job. You have represented the Pilots well on and off the field for anywhere from 2 to 6 years. And to see that group finish well and on a high note, there are so few players and so few teams that get to end a season with a win. And normally you end with a loss and then you cycle back around. But see that group, they finished 2 of their seasons with a win. And that is a real rarity in college athletics.
Paul, I was there for that. I was able to be there with the team, and as impressive as it looked on paper, it was more impressive in person. And even though we were in Florida and it was 80 degrees, I didn't break a sweat. It was just one of those type of deals where from the very first match, the Pilots were in control. And I think even that final pool play match, which I wasn't at because I was with volleyball in Missouri, but I put 3 balls in the back of the net before the 9-minute mark. And just the aggressiveness and the confidence they played with. Question I have, Coach, to take it back a little bit, to the end of the season, your bubble team for NAIA tournament, which is an accomplishment in and of itself from where the team has come under your tenure. But you have a little bit of a break. So talk about the process of getting the team ready after the Crossroads League tournament, and what's the process of getting them to a place where they're ready to compete, for a national championship in a national tournament?
Yeah, there's always a long gap there between when you finish the season and when you get to national tournament stuff. And so, step one was make sure the players are caught up on academics and they get rest. The season is grueling, and as you touched on earlier, just the magnitude of each game in the league, it'll wear you down. We lost the teams that did make the conference tournament, and we finished 6th, and then everybody above us in the conference was ranked in the top 20 in the NAI. Mm-hmm. So every day in, day out, they had to work hard. So when they got to the end, and we had an opportunity with that window to give them some rest, said, hey, take 3 or 4 days off, recover, go home, spend some time with family, and then essentially it was preseason round 2, hitting in mid-November. And we got back, and we were running sprints at the end of training each day and really pushing the players, pushing their fitness level, because we knew it was going to be taxing to get to the national tournament and to make it through 4 games in a week if we get to final sight and compete there. And so the players bought into that. They were all in. They seemed excited. Sometimes you get a team they're kind of down and out. They're over it. But this group was like, they were having the most fun of the season, training in 40 degrees in November and running sprints at the end of training. They really seemed to enjoy. They really seemed to embrace the challenge. They were excited for national tournament things. They had some hope and things to look forward to. But man, they were all in and engaged, and that was fun to watch.
Yeah. Paul, I have to tell you, character is often reflected in leadership, and this team is a high-character team, love each other well, and high energy, high effort, and that's reflective of Coach Freeman and his staff, Amber and Ty. And I just want to speak about that because I've been able to see them a lot. And, Jason and I have some connections where, even though I'm new, we're both from North Carolina. We both went to Appalachian State, and we actually both had the same mentor in college. Shout out to Mark Valentine, Campus Crusade. But just to see his character on display, and I love how level-headed he is. The fire burns deep, and he's a competitor. But I just really appreciate Coach here and just the way that he leads. He's a great representative of Bethel and what we stand for, putting Christ first in our approach to coaching and to life. And there's no doubt that played into the success of this team, just that leadership, and is going to continue to take this team to further heights. He's going to probably not like I'm talking about him so much, but I had to make sure I gave him his flowers because he's done a tremendous job, and we're really blessed to have him here at Bethel.
Well, the next question is, what are you going to do for an encore? And obviously the question is, is a championship number 3 on the horizon at some point in time? And obviously, you got to get out and do some recruiting. You got some holes you got to fill, and it's hard. It's hard to replace those game changers. So that would be my next question for you, Jason Freeman, is what are you going to do for an encore?
Well, we get right back to work, and we hit the recruiting trail hard, and our recruiting is getting farther and farther out, and I think our program success is drawing a lot more interest, and so some of that's just filtering through 10 times the emails we had coming in 3 years ago, and working through that and getting out and seeing players play and building relationships and networks. But yeah, we're going to take it one day at a time. We can't look at a year in advance and say, hey, we're going to do that. We got to look at tomorrow and say, what are we going to do that's going to help us get there? We've got, we outlined the roadmap, and then we just start driving. So we've got to find the players to come in and help get us to the next tier, and we want to get into the NAI tournament at some point. I think we're close this year. We're probably second team out, right on the bubble. But we had a great season. We have a lot to be thankful for, and it's just so much fun what we do here, and so we're going to continue to have fun one day at a time.
One thing that's been very apparent, and you and I've had a conversation before, Coach Freeman, is the fact that when you came in, you had to really kind of reestablish some fundamental principles on how you were going to build the program. It may not necessarily be an X's and O's things, but it was going to be some foundational principles. So you look back on year number 1, and let's move that up to where you're at right now. And those fundamental principles that you built in year 1, looking at them now, are you pleased with the development of your program? Because it's not about, I'm not going to ask you, are you pleased with the development of your team? I'm talking about the program, because that's what it's really more about.
Absolutely. It's a work in progress. Everything is it's a long-term endeavor. We don't want to take shortcuts. We want to set the building blocks, and I think a lot of that was, we had great people here when I got here in the program, and then they grew as soccer players, and then we brought in more great people, and then they grew as soccer players, and so collectively it's almost compounding on itself, where you bring in the right people into the program with the right character, the right attitude, the right work ethic, the right values, and then you just go play soccer and you get a little bit better each day. So it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch those seniors go 4 years and see the difference. But it's not that we have a world of different players than we had 2 years ago, but they continue to grow. And so that's what we want to continue to trend with is, can we continue to grow? Can we continue to pour into these players off the field and just help them get ready for life?
Coach Lewkowicz, what else you have on the dais this evening? You got something special for us here today? I noticed the notepad down there.
Yeah, so last time out we had our 3 burning questions, right? And so it's time for this part of the show where I get to ask the questions and turn around. And this will be for both of you.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time, dig deep. Hey, it's December. It's Christmas. It's my first Indiana Christmas, and the Lord has blessed us with plenty of snow. My wife is thrilled about that. Me less so, especially flying back from Florida and landing back, and it was just kind of okay, here we are. Everyone keeps telling me this is the worst winter they've experienced in a while, but it's Christmas season, so we're going to focus on that. What is your favorite Christmas tradition?
I'll start.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things, we sent out, Tanya, my wife Tanya and I, we sent about 350 Christmas cards. We started in November going through them all and putting up together a list. So I type a letter. Matter of fact, we were stuffing stuff last night, and while we're stuffing the Christmas cards, we watch White Christmas, the movie, while we're doing that, and that's one of the holiday traditions for us.
There you go, White Christmas. That's a great movie. We watched that ourselves. Coach, how about you?
Yeah, for me, I guess our family's still pretty young. We got 4 young kids, so we're still building our traditions and figuring out what we want to do as a family, but just getting to relax a little bit and spend time with the kids and to play. And then I love getting to take them down to North Carolina to see my parents each year, and then my wife's parents are in town here, so we get special time on Christmas Day, and we get special trip away just to be with family and friends.
All right. Well, last time we talked about food. Food's probably going to always be a part of this section of the show. So keeping with the Christmas theme, what is your favorite Christmas dish? It could be dessert or a main meal, a Christmas day. We'll start with Coach on this one. I'll give you a chance to think on it.
I love a good cinnamon roll. Just a big, fresh-baked cinnamon roll on Christmas morning. I think that's my favorite.
I know for our group, we have Christmas Day dinner on January 1st. We get our kids, we have 6 kids and 9 grandkids, and we want them to go visit the other half of their family. And then on January 1st at our house, we have a big Mexican taco bar where we have all the fixings. So you can come in, and matter of fact, it's open to the public. Anybody wants to show up at the Condry household at the studios, 1014 Yearly Lane, don't hesitate to stop by and join us, because I tell you what, you will go into a food coma in 2 hours. So that's our big thing.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Do you have enough couches for everyone
we do.
To take a nap on?
Plenty.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. We got 11 beds, and so we're ready to go. Anybody wants to come over and join us for the food coma, watch plenty of football and hockey. It's a great day to be alive.
Fantastic.
We'll see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And have the cinnamon roll after if there's any
Okay,
room
that's
left.
a great idea.
All right, so an early Christmas present for me, I thank the Lord for just bringing me to Bethel. It's been a fantastic semester. My family and I, we're so blessed to be here and be part of this family. I'd love to hear from both of you. If you met someone who never heard of Bethel, give me a one-sentence response of how would you sum up Bethel University to a stranger? We'll go with you, Paul.
Well, I think people have asked me that question a lot. What makes Bethel special? And I can talk about athletic traditions. I can talk about success. But I think the most important thing is something that I was going to kind of close our program with, in that it's about family. The Bethel family, and I've been here for over a quarter century now, and I've had a chance to see a ton of athletes and a ton of coaches, a ton of parents, and I still have great relationships with a lot of the athletes and coaches and family members who I've covered over the many, many years. And so to me, it's about family. It's not only about the family of God, but it's about the family of the people who love God and serve God through this institution. It's one of my favorite places in the world to ever go and be a part. So when we'll come back, and I'll close with my particular thought on family, because I want to hear Coach Freeman's thought on this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think very similar. It's the people. That's what I have grown to know since 2017. Been here in various capacities. Just looking at the coaches up and down the hallway and the people that you get to interact with daily. What a special group. And I've been a number of different places, and this place is special, and the people here are special. The people here are eternally focused and building into the next generation, and we use athletics as a tool, as a means to an end to do that. But just the heart of professors, everybody on this campus seems to be pulling in the same direction, and that's just so fun to be a part of. Well,
going back to my thought about family, I know Coach Lewkowicz, we lost a very, very dear friend, the Bethel family. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, as of this taping, Jim Arnold was an assistant basketball coach here for 4 years. Jim Arnold also was the father of former Bethel University, in this case it was Bethel College at the time, Sonia Martinez. And Sonia was the coach here for 4 years, and then she became the character coach when Jody Martinez, who was here for 16 years. So Jimbo was part of a lot of those great teams, made a lot of bus rides out to Sioux City. But Jim Arnold had an amazing legacy on what a Christ-centered life was all about. And I know the groups, and I've saw on Facebook just here in the last 24 hours, outpouring of love and affection towards Jimbo, as we called him, because he made an impact in the lives of every student athlete that he covered. He was an educator up in the Niles community for 3.5 decades and some change. He coached a wide variety of sports, but the impact that he had here on Bethel women's basketball and the Bethel community is something that is what I think Bethel University is all about. It's having an impact not only in the lives of the athletes and the people you come in contact with, but also being that example for our young ladies in this case, and to be an example on a Christ-centered marriage. And so I would just want to pass along our thoughts and prayers to Sonia and Jody, as well as Linda and all the grandkids. Jim Arnold, one of the greatest of all Bethel coaches, even though wasn't here necessarily for a long tenure, but his tenure will last forever. So want to just pass along our thoughts to Coach. Your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously didn't get the chance to meet Coach Arnold, but I've heard from several people this week, and we send our condolences to the family. He's part of the cloud of witnesses. You walk down the hallways, you see the Hall of Fame members or benefactors and coaches from the past, and they're all part of this cloud of witnesses that keep us propelling forward.
That's going to do it for the second edition of the Jason Lewkowicz Show here from inside Championship Plaza, presented in part by our friends at First Source Bank. Congratulations once again to Coach Jason Freeman on his second national championship. Congratulations, Lady Pilots. Also, congratulations goes out to men's soccer, women's volleyball for a national championship run, women's golf, of course, bringing home the hardware, men's basketball, women's basketball playing well right now as we're moving into the new calendar year. But I think I can speak on behalf of Jason Squared here today, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the entire Bethel University athletics family. Merry Christmas from all of us here at the YCAB Athletics Center. Thanks for joining us here on Regional Radio Sports.